could be natural, it could be nice, you know, and it could be interview appropriate. A lot of people get their makeup done for their interview, and that's fine.
Right.
But I think junkanoo makeup versus interview makeup is a big difference.
Understood.
So
No cleavage?
I would say try and cover up the cleavage. A lot of times I'll tell ladies, please pull up your blouse. So, you know, I don't want to get your cleavage in the photo.
You are now listening to
the AFL Brand, where we talk interesting stuff about almost everything.
Business, family, health, self-awareness, success, marketing.
All here on the AFL Brand podcast.
Welcome to an episode of the AFL Brand podcast, where we like to connect with people that are in different industries. And I was just telling our guest today that the AFL Brand stands for a slogan I've used for 12 years in my real estate career. It's called Your Agent for Life. And the synopsis of that means that if we do one transaction together, I hope I serve you good enough that you will come to me forever. It by no means suggests, I'm really thinking about doing a podcast where I share with people the numbers of clients that say they will never do business with me again, because as a professional, not every interaction is going to go the way you plan. And that's just a reality of life. But I'm excited to bring on our guest today from KLK Consulting. I'm really intrigued about her business, and we're all working out of a co-working space together for the moment. And very excited about the clients she's worked with in the past. And as we're looking to grow our company from a 25, I think we're at about 25 agents now, an apprentice, to 50 agents by June of next year. One of the things I'm paying a lot more closer attention to is how to hire people and how to hire the right people. This is something she specializes in. And so without further ado, Kristin Kelly, is it?
Yes.
Kristin Kelly. Mm-hmm. So Kristin, tell us a little bit about what KLK Consulting does and how you've gotten into the business.
So KLK Consulting is predominantly a recruitment company. So our aim is to assist companies with finding the right staff. So it takes away the headache of having to look through 100, 200 resumes to find the right person. We take away that headache, do the advertising, the telephone screen, the interview, and we make recommendations for hire. We also do background checks. We do full investigations, police checks, reference checks. We have an external staffing company where we provide staff to companies that are not willing to hire them full-time, but use them as gaps in their companies, like for example in the hotels where they have housekeeping, engineering. So we have a few teams like that, and then I also have a babysitting company.
Okay.
Also providing services to the hotel where we have babysitters that go in and sit for the resort guests.
Interesting. Is this a newer venture of KLK Consulting, or
we've been doing this for about a year now.
Okay.
Yeah, as a result of recruitment, external staffing,
right.
Babysitting goes right along with
Yes.
it because we recruit professionals that are interested in sitting for young kids. We have nurses, preschool teachers, young mothers.
Right.
So it came in line with recruitment.
Yeah. How successful is that segment of your business?
It's actually really good. Obviously, it goes along with occupancy. So when there's high occupancy, we're doing great. When there's low occupancy, we're not so great.
Right.
But we're gearing up now for the Christmas season. We're really excited. We are just on board with a new resort now.
Good.
So we're expanding, and it's going really well.
Awesome.
I'm anticipating it to go really well this season.
Good. How long has KLK been in business?
KLK, November will make 4 years.
Okay.
We started off small, obviously. I mean, it's small with one client, but the client was pretty big.
Right.
So 4 years ago to now, I have been in business. It's now we, but it was then just I.
Right. And prior to, what would you do?
I worked with Bahamar.
Okay.
I was a recruiter there. And previously I worked in a bank where I was also in recruitment.
Okay.
So that's all of my training.
I got you. HR degree?
I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and I have a master's degree in human resource management.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think, when on our last episode we talked about the value of a degree depreciating, what are your thoughts there?
I don't think it can ever depreciate. I don't want to ever take away the value of getting a degree,
Yeah.
because I believe that the purpose of a degree, it shows that you can take information and apply it. You know, it's really showing that this person is teachable, because I can go through college and learn and be able to adapt to that environment and adapt to the material. And I just think it's valuable no matter what people say, but I don't think it's 100% necessary to be successful.
Yeah, good point.
Because, you know, I think that it got me so far, but I do think that I got this far without it. I don't think that opened any doors for me.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay, so give us a little bit of your backstory, Kristin. What school did you go to?
University or high school?
High school.
I went to St. Andrews.
Okay.
School, yes.
Okay. Your delivery of that was kind of trepidatious. I don't know why.
Because it's a funny story. A lot of people try to guess what school I went to.
Yeah.
And people never guess.
What are people usually guessing?
The Kingsway. I had cousins that went to Kingsway, and then QC. I got SAC. I've gotten every school except the one I
St.
went to.
Andrews.
So that's why I think it's funny when people ask me that.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. So siblings. I did meet your sister.
Yes, I have a 17-year-old sister who's now in university, and I have a younger brother who's 2 years younger. He's an athletic trainer at Alabama University.
Okay. So both parents professionals?
Yes.
Yeah. What led you into HR? HR is not one of the things that you're in 7th grade, stereotypically speaking, and someone says, I want to be an HR professional. You would
Yeah.
agree it's kind of unorthodox.
Yeah, there's not really something people think about from high school, no.
Tell us about how that happened.
Well, when I started university, I wanted to be a speech pathologist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I started off with psychology. But 2 years in, I realized that is not for me. I sat with a speech pathologist. I don't have the patience for it. And a part of my degree allowed me to do business courses. And that's why I started to do HR. And then when I would come home for the summers, I worked with an HR department, and I think that's where my interest grew.
Understood.
And so it was kind of too late for me to switch my degree, so I got a certificate in HR and a degree in psychology, and then that's why I did the master's.
How is psychology helpful to you in life, relationships, and your business?
How is it helpful?
Yeah.
I've never been asked that question before. It's an interesting question. Well, psychology helps you to understand people a little more. I think it gives me patience with people because I have to understand that everyone is different and everyone processes things differently.
Right.
And so I try not to just judge people out the gate. You know, I give people that kind of understanding. I think that helps me with that. But with my business courses and psychology, I study more so organizational learning, which is more so the psychology aspect of business.
Right.
And so I think that's what I've applied today. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, I think so. So as it relates to personal relationships, do you think that you're more empathetic than you might have been if you hadn't done education in psychology? Are you more tolerant?
I don't know if I am. I think I'm very understanding. I think I'm a person, I get annoyed just like everyone else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I could say that. I do try to be a lot more understanding of people in my personal life. But I wouldn't say that I'm perfect, and I do have my flaws when it comes to personal relationships, yeah.
Right. Are you more fascinated with people now having this education? You more fascinated with why someone does something, or
I'm very fascinated with the mind. I've been talking about it for the last week, I think, about just what a blessing it is to be of sound mind. I just think it's a blessing. And then in recruitment, I meet so many different people, and it just helps me to appreciate my blessings and just
how does one determine a sound mind? Isn't that a subjective statement in itself?
I guess it is. But for me, once I'm able to function and, on the right path, I think I'm of sound mind. Yeah.
That's oftentimes, anytime that I'm in a disagreement with somebody, I attempt to often say that, listen, I disclaim everything that I'm almost always dogmatic about, that I could be wrong. I might be the crazy one here.
That's true.
And And it's interesting how I don't know, because there's no real test for, like, we don't go through tests to determine, like, no, I think crazy, I'm trying to think this through. I think,
Okay. Yeah, so I would get as much detail as possible. Do you have an age? Do you have a specific age range that you're looking for? Like, as much information as you can give me. Like, if you can give me your ideal candidate, what they look like.
role play with me. So we're going through it.
Yeah, so I'm saying, this is what I would say.
So
I want you to
we
give me
want
everything. Even if you say down to, I want this person to be between 35 and 45. If I want this person to be a black male, or I want this person to be a white male, or, you know.
Right.
Just because you might be targeting a certain demographic, you know, not to be discriminatory, but, you know, just, you might have those
certainly
things in. This person must have a car. This
Right.
person, this is what the commission is,
Right.
or they'll get a stipend for this, you know, because what I will then do is I'll probably create an ad.
Okay.
One of the members of my team, Shanna, helps me with ads now, and we create an anonymous ad. We put it out there, and then we'll wait for the resumes to come in, and Alex will then go through and screen them.
Right.
And we do an extensive screening process.
Okay.
So we'll then interview over the phone. So one of the questions we'll say is...
role play with me.
Okay,
Kristin.
okay.
Ring.
Okay. I gotta think about it. Okay, hello.
Hey, what's up?
How are you?
Pretty awesome.
Good. My name is Kristin. I'm calling from KLK Consulting. We are a recruitment company, and we are calling you because of a resume that you submitted for a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Is that true?
That's me, yes.
Okay, so we would like to just ask you a few questions if we can take a moment of your time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So firstly, I'd like to ask, you are interested in a real estate position.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me why?
Yeah. So I've been in sales for pretty much a part of my life. I've done a couple of years in insurance. I've always been entrepreneurial minded. Always been very intrigued about real estate. Don't know too much about it. I saw your ad. I thought it really fit me.
Okay. And are you currently employed at this time?
Yes. I operate a small business where I do graphic design for small companies.
Okay. Can you tell me the name of the company? Is it your company?
It is my company.
Okay.
The company's called Aspiration Online.
All right. And how long has that been going on?
I've been doing running this business for probably about 4 years now.
Okay. And do you plan on keeping your business and doing this as a side thing, or are you looking for full-time employment?
Right. I want to do real estate full time. This is paying the bills currently, but I do
Right.
see real estate as a long term thing.
Okay. And when would you be available for an interview?
I work on my own schedule, so I could almost make it anytime.
Okay. And before we invite you in for an interview, we have to let you know that we have to do an extensive background check on all of our candidates.
Oh, okay.
So we would require references from former employers, reputable companies that you would have worked for recently, at least 2 or 3. And we will be conducting a full police background check on you, where we would need to know exactly, you know, if you've ever committed a crime or anything like that.
Locally or internationally? Just to be clear.
Locally.
Okay, all right. That should be all right then.
It depends on the candidate. We can possibly look into. We do have the means to do international, as we've done so before.
Okay.
So if we feel like there's a need and the client feels like there's a need, we can do that. So
Yes.
we ask at this time that you be very honest with us about anything that may come up, just so that, you know, there's no surprises,
Right.
and the client is well aware of what's going on with you.
Understood. Okay.
So yes.
Yeah.
You can pass.
Yes.
You're comfortable. You can provide references.
Of course.
Okay, so we'd like to invite you in for an interview. How's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's good. What time?
Okay. 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
We're at Adventure Co-working.
I'll see you there.
Okay.
All right. Let's jump into the interview then.
You want to go to the interview now?
Let's do it.
Okay, so you're walking through the door.
Yeah. Okay.
Alex is going to stop you, and she's going to give you an application.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to fill out the application. The application is going to ask you for basic information, name, date of birth, are you a Bahamian citizen, have you ever committed a crime. Then it's going to ask you to just list your last 3 employers, whether it's present or the last 3 that you worked with previously. The form is then going to ask you for references, where you can kind of write names of persons that we can contact for your references. We prefer employers, so that we can really get a feel of what kind of candidate you are.
Yeah.
Right? So you take about 15 minutes for that. Then when you're done, we'll bring you in for the interview.
Okay.
So you're done.
I am done.
Okay.
Yes.
So we walk into the interview, and most likely, and I'll just put a pause in here, you would have telephone screened with Alex, but now
Okay.
you're meeting me, Kristin.
Okay.
So I will then go and introduce myself. My name is Kristin.
What did Alex ask me?
Alex did the telephone screen.
Oh, okay. She did. Yes.
So
Okay.
I said Kristin, but
Right.
Alex usually does the telephone screens.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a way where two different persons are viewing the candidate.
For sure.
All right,
For sure.
assessing the candidate. So then you'll sit in with me, and I'll go through your resume. So we'll look at your resume. We'll start with. Sorry, we're not role playing anymore. It's hard, but I'll just go through your resume and find out exactly what your experience is like, and I'll kind of ask some of the same questions that I asked on the telephone screen.
And pretend you got it in front of you then.
What, the resume?
Right. So I got aspiration online and whatever else. Let's put it in there, because when people see this or hear this, I'd like them to say, oh, I didn't think about that, or I didn't think to ask that question about his employment when he first got out of school. So think about clients interviews you've had before, and let's interject some of that here.
Okay, so let's start.
Inject.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Good.
Welcome. I hope you had a great day. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for taking the time out to meet with me.
Of course.
My name is Kristin.
Yes.
I'm a recruitment consultant
Okay.
for KLK Consulting, and we do recruitment, vetting, and external staffing. The purpose of our company is to act as an external HR source for our clients, and we assist them with their hiring process. So we do advertising, telephone screen, and just all the details, background checks, everything to find the possible candidate. We do not make the final decision.
Okay.
So I want you to be comfortable. We're just going to go through your resume and just find out exactly what your experience is like.
Right.
Okay. So can you tell me, are you currently employed?
Yep. Like I mentioned during the screening, I currently operate a small marketing company where we help small businesses with social media management, graphic design, that kind of thing. Video production, yeah.
Okay. And where did you work before?
Yeah, I did a short stint in insurance. I probably spent about 2 years there, but I really wanted to do my own thing. And so I left straight from insurance into operating my own business. Kind of operated my own business in the evenings, but then when that kind of replaced my insurance income, then I went full-time into running my own business.
Okay, so you resigned, or how did that process look like?
Yeah, so I think I wanted to have about 6 months of savings in the bank. When it reached there, I think I gave them 2 weeks notice.
Okay.
So we're talking about 6 years ago.
Okay.
And so yeah.
Okay, and before then, where did you work?
Before then, I worked at a gas station, where I started as a pump attendant and worked my way all the way up to accounts clerk.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you said you worked your way up to an accounts clerk?
Right.
What company was this?
This was J-Mel Enterprises.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And was this your first job, or?
Yes.
Okay. And what's your educational history like?
None.
High school? Yeah. Did you graduate from high school? You did?
Yeah.
Okay. And what high school did you go to?
Went to Government High.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you have a high school diploma?
I do.
Okay. And then you just went straight to work afterwards?
That's right.
Okay. And what are your goals? What are your career goals?
Yeah. Well, I want to be in a position to work less. It's always been my life's ambition. And I realized that to work less, I need to make more per hour. I've always thought about, when I thought about owning my own business, when I thought about being in insurance, and even as a child, I wanted to be a fireman. I wanted to be a fireman because I believed that we don't have that many fires in the Bahamas, and I was going to have a lot of free time. And then when a fire happened, I would...
Is this a true story?
This part is true, yes.
Okay.
This is a true story.
Interesting.
And because I would have been a good liar if it wasn't, right? But almost everything I've done has been, how do I make more per hour so that I can work less hours?
Okay. And how's that working for you in terms of your childhood goal of that concept?
Good. I think I've kind of capped out as it relates to my marketing business right now.
Okay.
And so I think real estate will really answer that for me, as I have already developed a lot of skills I think are going to be helpful to real estate, like marketing, like video production, those things that I think are going to serve me well as a realtor if I'm hired here.
And what is your understanding of what is expected of you as a real estate agent?
You know, I watch a lot of HGTV. You know, I think I need to be very, very proficient. I appreciate that real estate is a legal transaction. And so I need to become as well informed about each property and about each transaction as I am a lawyer. And not only that, you know, as I've served clients in insurance and served clients in marketing before, I want to be empathetic. What I want my goal to be as a realtor, this is true as well, is I want to show empathy for the client. Mm-hmm. And I think that's lacking in a number of different industries. Mm-hmm. And so that's one of the things I want to be my calling card, mm-hmm. showing abundant concern for the clients and their needs and what they're going through and answering the questions they don't know.
Mm-hmm. What's your 5 to 10 year goal, career goal?
5 to 10 year goal. I'd like to become financially free with a number of income producing, passive income producing assets. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And what's your plan to achieve that?
My plan to achieve that is to sub out, so simultaneously run my marketing company, but replacing the tasks that I'm doing now. Mm-hmm. And so still work with the clients that we're working with now, mm-hmm. totally dive into real estate, mm-hmm. learn the industry in and out, mm-hmm. And kill it.
Okay. Good.
You look impressed. Am I hired?
I don't make the final decision.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
right.
this is just a preliminary interview where
Understood.
I'm taking
You
notes.
You crack jokes in the preliminary process,
Pardon?
or you're pretty stiff?
I believe in making people comfortable in
Okay.
the interview because I want to see who you really are.
Right.
I want to see, you know, your real personality. I don't want to see the nervous, you know, so I try to calm persons down. And I think my youth helps that already,
Yeah.
I think, with a lot of people. But I want to see who you are.
Right.
And then sometimes I turn the interview into advice.
Right.
Sometimes
right.
I do.
Right.
Sometimes, especially if I feel like the potential is there, they're doing really great traction. You want them to listen to you and hear what you're saying. You know, you don't want them to be distracted by, you know, your chest out
Right.
or, you know, some crazy hairstyle or, you know, like colorful makeup. I
Right.
think.
So
Just be
take it easy on the makeup.
Yeah, I would say so.
Kind of. I mean, give us like a general parameter. Go easy. Don't go beat that day. Do you beat it?
No, I mean, beat you can't say that because beat could be natural, it could be nice, you know, and it could be interview appropriate. A lot of people get their makeup done for the interview, and that's
Right.
fine.
Right.
But I think junkanoo makeup versus interview makeup is
Understood.
a big difference.
Understood.
So that's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
No cleavage.
I would say try and cover up the cleavage. A lot of times I'll tell ladies, please pull up your blouse. So, you know, I don't want to get your cleavage in the photo.
Right.
So I just would say, you know, and if you don't know what professional is, you can Google it. Everything is at your fingertips.
What
of
would you
what
Google
is-
right now to find this out?
I would just say professional attire
Professional
or
attire.
interview. And trust me, like even myself, I Google things for interviews as well. And so it's out there. The information is out there.
Good. So we got number 1, don't be late. Number 2, dress appropriately. 3.
A third, don't. I wish my team was here. We could do this together.
Mm-hmm. I could call her in right quick.
No, she won't like that.
Okay.
On the spot. A third, don't.
A
for
third
an
don't.
interview.
A third don't.
This should be easy.
It should be.
Third, don't. I would say that you should always be yourself in an interview, but remember that it's an interview. I think my ability to make people comfortable in an interview, they forget where they are. So
Right.
don't not be professional. Always be professional. Because I've had people get so comfortable and someone turned around and showed me where they were bullying someone online. Like, how? And he thought it was funny.
Right.
And I'm like, you don't understand what you're doing. Like,
Right.
he was showing me, he's like, oh, yeah, I bullied this person. I thought it was funny. I called her Animal Farm. Like,
Oh my goodness.
yeah.
Yeah.
So always remember where you are and remember, you know, just always remain professional.
Yeah. Always be professional. Number
Yeah.
3. Number 4. We got to make it to 5, Kristin.
should have stayed at 3.
We should have stayed at 3, right?
Or don't.
Number 4, don't.
Mm.
Could we talk? What about the resume? What about, because did they fill a resume? No, they might have just called. and got the screening.
We would have seen the resume online once they submitted it.
Okay. What about, let's talk about the resume
Okay.
then. Don't on the resume.
Don't. I can say a do on a resume.
Okay, let's go with a do.
Put date. I do not like to look at resumes that don't have dates. I find that a lot of persons just kind of list the jobs that they have, but I can't figure out when you work there and what time frame. Always put dates on a resume. I don't think that persons should put their photo on a resume.
No photo, why?
I don't think so. I think because you want to be assessed based on your experience, not the way you look. And I find a lot of persons put a photo, and it's not always a great photo of them.
Right.
But unless you're applying to be a model or something where it's applicable for a photo, I think you should leave the photo off. Make sure the dates are there. Make sure it's in sequence. And some people have 6-page resumes. It's fact, and you can Google this. Most recruiters take 7 seconds to look at a resume. 7 seconds, especially if you're looking at hundreds.
Right.
And so if it's nicely aligned, the dates are there. Sometimes even 1, maybe 2 pages, we can get through it pretty quickly.
Right.
So I would say make sure it's organized. It's not too jammed.
What about fancy fonts, special colored paper?
Colored paper is fine. That doesn't bother me. If you want a pink resume, that's fine.
Yeah.
Fonts, obviously something that's easy to read. The information is right there. Like I said, you look at your resume or have someone else look at it, and they can tell you if it's easy to pick out the dates. Because the number one thing I'm looking for is your experience. I'm looking to see, as a recruiter, most of my clients say, I'm looking for experience. It's very rare where they'll say no experience is necessary. Right. Because either way, they'll just hire anybody if that's the case. Yeah. So if I can see your experience clearly, maybe bold it or, bold the dates, because that's really what I'm looking at.
How important is a cover letter? A cover letter giving you a little bit of, and then if you say it's important, what should I put in the cover letter?
I don't want to be fair and say it's not important to have a cover letter. A lot of times in the rush of things, you don't really have time to read cover letters. But I find that sometimes it makes a difference if you have so many candidates to choose from. You can go back and read more about them. Right. So in that sense, it is good to have one. Yeah. But I have to admit, I don't always read them.
Understood. Yeah. Time is of the essence. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I think we covered it. I think a lot of people over the next couple of weeks to months are going to be job hunting.
Yeah.
And so, it's amazing how easy it is. And I think, some of the things that Kristin is mentioning, if someone does not have the ability to Google what is appropriate makeup, appropriate clothing, how should I interview when all of this information is available? Mm-hmm. Does that tell you something about someone?
That they don't have that information to Google it?
That they aren't willing to have done that. They don't have the self-awareness to say, maybe I should just check Google, see what...
I feel so bad because I just, the team here at Venture, we really work together as a family in here, and they've been encouraging that we should do some training, because there are some people that just don't know. Right. Yes, information is at your fingertips these days, there's no excuse to not know anymore, honestly. Yeah. But maybe people don't know that they don't know. I say that all the time. Yeah. So we want to work on something for future to maybe start something where we can start mentoring persons or offering some sort of training just for basic things, just interview skills or, how to set up your resume. Just simple stuff because it's really sad. Yeah. It's really sad.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm trying to think about what to bring value to this audience, Kristin. You think about we're appealing to people maybe in our demographic that's either working at a company or running their own small thing. What words of advice might you have for whether you're the employer or the employee? And again, I put you on the spot, but and no pressure here. But what do you think?
What is my advice about what? Just hiring?
About hiring, in the workplace.
Hiring in the workplace?
Just in the workplace. Take off hiring. Okay. Just in the workplace. You're a professional. You've been in the professional arena for over a decade. Mm-hmm. Yeah. General advice.
Just general advice? That's so broad.
In the workplace. That's specific.
In the workplace. Just so advice to employees, I guess.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You're too general.
That's too vague? That's too vague?
Yes.
I want to... let me see here. So I'm thinking about where I am. Okay. All right. Here we go. I started this by saying that we all are agents for life.
Yes.
What advice might you have for someone to gain business for a lifetime? So the clients you have, how are you retaining clients? How specific is that? Is that good?
Yes.
All right.
That's very clear.
Okay.
The advice that I would say is to build a relationship with your clients and just get a real understanding of what they're looking for. Like I said, I tell every person that sits in front of me for an interview, I work for the client and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that they are satisfied with the best possible candidate.
Right.
You know, I'll interview 100 people for them to get one great person. And so it's just trial and error and just doing whatever it takes to please them. And the ability to not say no and to say yes and trying new things in order to please your clients. And I think that's what's got me so far, is because I've said a lot of yeses. So yeah, it's not easy, but I've taken the challenge and it's 4 years in and yeses.
Yeah.
So yeah.
One of the things that's got me in trouble, Kristin, is in some cases, and it sounds funny, going above and beyond and being taken advantage of for doing so. And I might reason that might happen in your case as well, that you have the mentality of do whatever, but then you haven't made clear what your definition of whatever means and their definition. You have differences of opinion on what whatever means.
Okay.
So your whatever might mean, I'll do 20 interviews if I need to. And theirs might be, but I'm not happy with any of the 20. Why don't you go to 50? Are you good at confrontation? I'm not.
You're not?
To be able to say, when I said we're going to make this happen for you, I meant up to 20 people. 21, I'm going to have to invoice you again. Are you good at that? Are you?
I have had very great experiences. I haven't had issues like that before. In terms of, because that's talking about quantity. We're not talking about quantity, we're talking about quality.
Right.
So I can maybe send them 5 people and they'll choose one of the 5.
Right.
So my clients aren't focused if I'm sending them 50 people.
Understood.
Or how many people I interview. They just care, am I getting the right candidate?
Right.
So, I mean, like you said, every client is different and it could be challenges, but I found that I'm good at putting out fires, I find.
Good.
Surprisingly, because I'm a very scary person.
Right.
It still baffles me that I'm in this kind of business, because I don't like attention, as I
Mhm.
told you.
Yes.
The camera on me, I hate it. But
As she hails the camera.
Yeah.
Camera on me. Hey,
I
camera.
do not like being in front of the camera.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that I've built great relationships with my clients, and I think that the reason I'm still in business is because they've been satisfied with what we've been producing for them over the years.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in closing, Kristin, I imagine a lot of people like myself, I believe, and again, probably with very little self-awareness, that I'm okay at interviews. But some people may need to sub it out as your company provides.
Yeah.
How does that happen? So walk me through. I want someone to do this for me. How do we engage you?
So I would say email me at kristin@klkconsulting.com, or you can go on my website and send me a note through there, klkconsulting.com, or give me a call.
Shoots, man. Our conversation gets cut off here, but it's a perfect time for you to go to podcast.aflbrand.com and hear the rest of it. Now, here's something exciting. For everybody that subscribes to the podcast, here's what to do. Subscribe, send me a screenshot, and the first couple of people that send me a text to 808-6868 with that screenshot are going to get a pretty interesting surprise. Try it now and see what you get.